Here today with Coach Ruben Torres of the Marlin Bulldogs. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing great, doing great.
Now, one of the things I'm trying to do in these interviews is kind of illustrate the different paths that people take to get where they are. So, if you don't mind, take us through your coaching history.
So I began coaching actually in junior high in El Paso, Texas, and my first job was seventh grade girls basketball. And then I followed that up the next semester with eighth grade girls track. And then at that point, I got offered a freshman job at a high school. That was my first job in football. One of my former high school assistant coaches, Todd Clark, got the head job, gave me a call on a Sunday morning, offered me a position, and I was there as a freshman offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach. And then the following year, I moved to quarterbacks. Uh, Third year, I was the offensive coordinator, and then 3 years later, I was the head coach at Isleta High School. And then, of course, from there, I went to El Dorado as a 6A head coach. Spent 3 years at Franklin as an assistant, and then now here in Marlin.
All right. Now, if all that career, you've had people that have mentored you, that have given you tips and pointers and pointed you in the right direction. As a head coach or even as a coordinator, you're in that mentor role. So, uh, walk us through a little bit of that mentoring the coaches across all sports there at Marlin that report to you.
Yeah, obviously, I've changed over the years through experiences and meeting coaches, both male and female coaches in different sports, so their respective sports. But I think what I've learned is the young coach. Sometimes I think it's easy to forget, even sometimes as a more experienced coach, is you have to get the people part right. And if your kids and your coaches don't know beyond a doubt that you really care about them and that you're in this for the right reasons, you're going to struggle. Our profession now, and even kids now, they have so many other options. But as coaches, there's coaches that are leaving our profession because they can make a lot more money. They can have, they get better benefits, different opportunities to enhance the life of their families, who are leaving the profession. And so those of us that are still in it, I think it's important that we really highlight and don't take for granted the impact and the people part of it. Because if you can get the people part right, the winning will take care of itself. You're just every day coming to work is going to be much better and much more gratifying.
Now, last year, you first year with the Marlins, you went to the state semifinals, lost to Hawley by 7. That was the deepest run that Marlin had made since 2013, and only the fourth time since started playing football in 1907 been to the state semifinals. Now you've uh, been seeing your kids out in the spring sports. What do you think so far?
Well, when I got here last year, we were coming at the tail end of basketball. And so we really wanted to develop the track program, and I've always been a big believer in track, not just because of what it does for football, but just overall athletics. And so last year, a year ago at this time, we were in a similar spot. We were coming off of the first appearance in a while on the boys' side of making the state track meet, but teaching them really just how to compete. I shared this story the other night. When I first met with the team, 3 of the things that the players told me was they were asked a question, what do you think? 3 things that really stood out to me were how they expressed that there was no pride. They didn't get any respect as football players, and they really didn't know how to win. And I was here by myself. I hadn't been able to hire any coaches at the time. The coaches that we were retaining were off coaching other sports. So a lot of times it was just me and our kids. And that first month, all I really did was talk to them, and I didn't talk to them much about football at all. It was really getting to know them. I mean, here's a guy coming from West Texas. There was a lot of stuff in the social media about why I shouldn't have been hired here. So these kids are trying to process all this information and all these things, and then they gotta see if they can trust me or not. And so we spent a lot of time just getting to know each other. And then like I said, they had a great track season last year, and then we jumped into the summer. And so again, it was just so much about patience and teaching, as opposed to hey, trying to win a state championship. I mean, we didn't even talk about state championships. Our goal was to be in the mix for a district title and to get a playoff win. And the first week, we had 13 fumbles and lost like 8 or 9 of them. And I kind of had to go back to the drawing board really quickly. And because their first game, they go out there, they're excited. We lost. You could see the disappointment on their face, the frustration on mine, and trying to keep that together and keep it from falling apart so quickly. And they just got better every week. And another thing that not a lot of people are aware of is none of the coaches on our staff had ever worked with me, and I've never worked with them. And so you talk about having to gain buy-in and support from the coaches and the kids, and we're learning each other, and the expectations here were extremely high. Our superintendent gives you everything you need to succeed, but he expects results, and results at the highest level. So there was a lot of things going on, and I thought we did a great job as a staff of keeping our kids focused on the main thing, which was just playing football and getting better every week. And we were able to get hot at the right time. We were healthy. We didn't really have a major injury until that last game against Holly, which plays a big part in making playoff runs for sure. And so we're just hoping to build off of that going into next year.
All right. So who do you have back for next year that we're going to recognize, and what do you think you look like right now for football?
Really, we lost 4 players. So obviously Darian Gallette's the big headliner, the 5-star linebacker, wide receiver, all-state punter. Our quarterback's back in Desmond Woodson. Our running back, slot receiver, Trajan Butler's back. Zamarion Lofton as safety and slot receivers back. Our entire secondary's back. We had a freshman all-state inside backer and Tyron Bell, who is just going to continue to get better. We have a sophomore who will be a junior that's going to play some running back, and he was a starting linebacker for us in Jameer Hartsfield. So I feel really, really good about this team. I feel really good about the work that they've been putting in. The trickiest part for us right now as a staff is these kids like Gillette and Lofton and Butler, Ayer, who was probably our most improved player last year in the secondary, having these long seasons with football, basketball, and track, kind of compiling on each other is, monitoring their rest, giving them their rest, not, hoping that they don't feel the pressure to get back in there right away, the first week of June, and start letting their bodies heal up and then start building for this 22 season. But I feel really good. I think anytime you have 4 out of your fine offensive linemen coming back, your quarterback, and of course all the pieces around that, you're going to feel really good. And this will be their second year in our offensive and defensive systems. the practice style. So we're hoping that we can take the next step, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. That first game on the road against Crockett will be a tough one, and then we open up with Mart at home. So, we just got to take care of one thing at the time, and don't try to rush or cheat the process.
All right. Now, Marlin does have a long history of playing football. Like they started playing in 1907. Back in the 30s, they had a couple of coaches that went by nicknames instead of given names.
Mm-hmm.
Hawk Weathers and Flash Walker. So if you were coaching back in the 30s, what would be your nickname you'd go by?
I'd say it'd probably be nothing too crazy. It'd probably just be Calm Torres.
Calm Torres.
I've learned to be really patient as I've gotten older, and really always now I try to be the calm in the middle of the storm. And obviously in coaching and in this business, there's a lot of storms, and I really do try my best to stay calm and even keel for our kids. But I'm not a flashy guy. I'm not a guy that likes a lot of attention at all, and I'm pretty just mellow and calm.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for your time today, and best of luck in the 2022 season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Tony.